We now have the easiest to get legendary ring in the game with the new Visions of Eternity update. Previously, the only way to get a legendary ring was to either get into World vs. World or through raids. This one, Endless Summer, can be obtained exclusively through open world solo gaming. Here is a list of prerequisites and currencies that you will need to craft the ring. Once you have these, you can craft the ring within a couple of hours. I will go through the crafting process step by step and explain how you can get everything. The ring is crafted in the Mystic Forge from 4 primary components: Gift of Rays, Gift of the Survivors, Gift of the People, and Gift of the Hylek. Each of these primary components is made out of secondary components. The timestamps in the video will reflect these. Gift of the Light is crafted by Armorsmith Crafting Profession at level 400. We can buy the recipe from any Mystic Forge attendant for 10 gold. It is made out of orichalcum ingots, cured hardened leather squares, charged lodestones, and Gift of Ascalon. We can buy Gift of Ascalon from the dungeon merchant in Lion's Arch for 500 Tales of Dungeon Delving. Since we need 2 Gifts of Light, we will need 2 Gifts of Ascalon for a total of 1000 Tales of Dungeon Delving. You can get these by playing dungeons or through PvP or World vs. World dungeon reward tracks. Gift of Condensed Might is crafted in the Mystic Forge from Gift of Fangs, Scales, Claws, and Bones, and Gift of Condensed Magic is crafted in the Mystic Forge from Gift of Blood, Venom, Totems, and Dust. You can buy the recipes for the individual gifts from Mystic Forge Attendant for 10 gold each, and to craft these you will need one of the crafting professions, Weaponsmith, Huntsman, or Artificer at level 400. 250 sun beads can be bought from the renowned Heart Merchant in Sparkfly Fen after completing the quest for 5250 karma. Now we combine 2 Gifts of Light, 2 Gifts of Might and Magic, and 250 sun beads in the Mystic Forge to get Gift of the Sun. The easiest way of farming piles of coarse sand is by doing events in Silver Wastes and consuming the piles of silky sand. We can also buy it from the trading post. The easiest way of farming ley infused sand is by doing bounty events in any of the Crystal Desert maps, or we can also buy it from the trading post. Coral orbs can be bought from the trading post or crafted with level 350 jeweler crafting profession. Relic of the Sunless can be bought on the trading post or crafted with level 400 leather worker, armorsmith, or tailor crafting professions. Now we combine 250 piles of coarse sand, 100 ley infused sand, 250 coral orbs, and Relic of the Sunless in the Mystic Forge to get the Gift of the Beach. There are multiple ways of getting obsidian shards, and I will link this wiki page below so that you can choose how to get them. If you want to farm these, Silver Wastes Reba is a good way to get them. Pure 6 orbs can be bought on the trading post or crafted by level 350 jeweler crafting profession. We only need one of them, so we can get 250 of any of these. I went with opal orbs because I already had them. Bloodstone shard can be bought from the Mystic Forge Attendant for 200 spirit shards. 100 Mystic Runestones can be bought from the Mystic Forge Attendant for 100 gold. Now we combine 250 orbs, 250 obsidian shards, bloodstone shard, and 100 Mystic Runestones in the Mystic Forge to get Gift of the Infused Gems. Amalgamated Rift Essences can be crafted by any crafting profession at level 400. It requires 2500 fine, 1000 masterwork, and 500 rare Rift Essences, and 500 globs of ectoplasms to craft 10 of these. The fastest way to get Rift Essences is by doing convergences and the weekly Rift farms. There are multiple ways to get Mystic Clovers, and the easiest way is to buy them from the Wizard's Wall. You also get them from PvP and World vs. World reward tracks, trade merchants, and fractal merchants for their respective currencies. Purified Rift Essences can now be crafted by any crafting profession at level 400 and will require 10 Amalgamated Rift Essences and 10 Mystic Clovers. Now we have all the components required to craft Gift of Rays. Combine Gift of the Sun, Gift of the Beach, Gift of Infused Gems, and 10 Purified Rift Essences in the Mystic Forge to get Gift of Rays. We have now completed 1 out of the 4 primary components required to craft the ring. Concentrated Chromatic Sap can only be purchased after you have completed Shipwreck Strand Mastery Achievement. We only need to complete 36 out of the total 53 objectives available. Once done, we can purchase the Concentrated Chromatic Sap from the Renowned Heart Merchant Sharp Whisker in Shipwreck Strand for 500 Chromatic Saps, 250 gold and 300,000 karma. We can farm Chromatic Saps by doing events on the map or by doing the mirror farm. I personally use the Lady Eliza marker pack to go through the large chests daily. It is also a good solo gold farm. Gift of Shipwreck Strand Exploration can be obtained by map completion. If you have already done this on a character, you can also purchase more copies for 50 gold and 300,000 karma from any Renowned Heart merchant on the map, or do another map completion with another character. Survivor's Enchanted Compass can be obtained as a reward for completing Shipwreck Strand Mastery Achievement, and more copies can be bought for 50 gold and 300,000 karma from the same merchant. Aether-Rich Saps can be obtained by doing events on the map or by consuming Chromatic Sap, which you get by doing the mirror farm. We now have all the components required to get Gift of the Survivors. We can purchase the gift from Castaway Agnes next to the Hull Garden Pure waypoint. We now have 2 out of the 4 primary components required to craft the ring. Patron of Magical Arts can only be purchased after completing the Starlit Weald Mastery Achievement. We only need to complete 36 out of the total 55 objectives available. Once done, we can purchase the Patron of Magical Arts from the Renowned Heart Merchant Huntmaster Arnor next to the Hunter's Camp waypoint in Starlit Weald for 500 raw enchanting stones, 250 gold and 300,000 karma. We can farm the raw enchanting stones by completing the events on the map or by doing the mirror farm. Gift of Starlit Weald Exploration can be obtained by map completion. If you have already done this on a character, you can also purchase more copies for 50 gold and 300,000 karma from any Renowned Heart merchant on the map, or do another map completion with another character. Seer Wreath of Service can be obtained as a reward for completing the Starlit Weald Mastery Achievement, and more copies can be bought for 50 gold and 300,000 karma from the same merchant. Antiquated Ducats can be obtained by doing events on the map or by consuming raw enchanting stones, which you get by doing the mirror farm. We now have all the components required to get Gift of the People. We can purchase the gift from Canuck next to the Pub Canuck waypoint in Shipwreck Strand. We now have 3 out of the 4 primary components required to craft the ring. The final primary component, Gift of the Hylek, is obtained as a reward for completing Radiance of the Sun God achievement. It has 20 components, and we will go through each of these in order. The Shaman is located just northeast of the Hull Garden Pure waypoint in Shipwreck Strand. Talk to them to unlock further objectives. Defeat the world boss Tequatl in Sparkfly Fen. It is on a timer that you can check on the Events Timer wiki page. Go to the Phalias Park waypoint in Caledon Forest and follow this route. You will see a giant head with markings on its face. You have to match the 3x3 markings on the face to the 3x3 pressure plates on the ground by picking up and placing the tears of Itlaucol on the pressure plates. Every time you match the pattern, a torch lights up next to the gate. You have to light 4 torches in order for the gate to open. Match the left eye pattern, then right, then left, and then right again. If someone has already started and you see 1 or 3 torches lit, then match the right eye. If there are no torches lit or 2 torches lit, then match the left eye. Once all 4 torches are lit, the gate will open and you will find the chest. Head to the Jelako waypoint in Blood Tide Coast, and you will find the acolyte slightly northeast of the waypoint. The chieftain is found north of the waypoint next to this point of interest. If there is an event happening, you need to complete the event before talking to the chieftain. From Ramada waypoint in Blood Tide Coast, head west, going around this hill and then dive underwater into the cave, and you will find the acolyte here. Now head east to Risewild Hills and kill jungle trolls. I got the achievement after defeating the veteran jungle troll. Head south of the Leviathan waypoint in Kessex Hills, going around the hill and then enter the small opening to the cave and dive underwater. You will find the chief here. Head east of the Mycotl Grounds waypoint in Metrica province and purchase the Dragonfly Steaks from the renowned heart merchant for 7,000 karma. Now return to the cave in Kessex Hills and talk to the same chief. Head slightly northeast of this waypoint in Timberline Falls and talk to the Hylek Amini, who will unlock Helping Hylek Kill Crate achievement. Now head south to the Nonmoa Lake and kill 25 crates. Head northeast of the old sledge site waypoint in Mount Maelstrom to the Lorantl Grounds point of interest, where you will find the acolyte who will give you the Inquest note. Now on the same map, head northeast of the Crucible of Eternity waypoint to the Zone White point of interest, where you will find the chest. Now again on the same map, complete the Hidden Garden jumping puzzle. I used the Lady Eliza marker pack to help me complete this puzzle. The entrance to the puzzle changes and is random. You can find an event at one of the 4 locations shown here, and after completing the event, a portal spawns. Enter the portal and follow the markers to complete the jumping puzzle. Head to the Zintl Holy Grounds waypoint in Sparkfly Fen. If the event is happening, you have to complete it, after which the shaman heads back inside his hut where you can talk to them. Head north of the Judgment waypoint in Mount Maelstrom and sit next to the renowned heart merchant. Once you sit, you will get the achievement eligibility buff, which counts down for the completion of the objective. Now we head back to the shaman in the hut at Zintl Holy Grounds waypoint in Sparkfly Fen. Finally, we return to the shaman next to the Hull Garden Pier waypoint in Shipwreck Strand to complete the achievement and receive our reward, the Gift of the Hylek. We can purchase more copies if we want to craft a second ring from here. Now we have all 4 primary components required to craft Endless Summer. Combine Gift of the Hylek, Gift of Rays, Gift of the Survivors, and Gift of the People in the Mystic Forge to get the legendary ring Endless Summer. Once equipped, we get the option to show or hide the visuals. While standing still, a beam of sunlight shines on the character and sandcastles and dancing crabs show up at your feet. When moving, there are no animations and the beam of sunlight stays in place for a bit before disappearing. While you have weapons drawn, the sand converts to water and fishes jump around in the puddle.